Welcome back to Tales of the Lesser Medium, a podcast that pokes fun at video game narratives. Each season, me, Caleb J. Ross, and my co-host...
I'm going to right off the bat be very controversial here. I don't think you should own a frog. I think if you have a pet frog, and it gets out of its aquarium, and it leaves your bedroom, and it goes down the steps, and it escapes your home into the grass, that's God's frog. That's not your frog anymore. You need to turn back around and march your ass back inside and ask your parents for a puppy, because I'm just going to say, I don't think you shouldn't love a frog as much as our character today loves frogs. That's all I'm saying.
And that's Travis Terry taking a very hard stance against frog loving. Well, what do we do here? We take you through our favorite video game franchise narratives, taking time along the way for humorous skits to make you laugh and to make us laugh too, because we are egotistical jerks who think of ourselves as quite funny, and we hope you will too. I hope you had fun with Season 2. That Lara Croft, she's quite the adventurer, isn't she? Despite having to dodge the advances of Greg, the perverted tour guide, kill every mythozoological marvel the world has ever seen, or better said, every mythozoological marvel the world wouldn't get the chance to see, and pulling more questionable levers than a blindfolded game show contestant at a boner convention. Lara Croft managed to survive through more than 4 video games and an entire season of Tales of the Lesser Medium. Congratulations, Laura.
Laura.
Yeah, that's what I said, Laura.
We're not doing this again.
We could. We're so glad you have returned, dear listener, because today we've got for you another special in-between episode, a one-off episode we call a Lessersode. While Season 2 crammed 4 full episodes into your head holes, it wouldn't be safe to cram in 4 more episodes right away. That's just too much goodness, and frankly, we can't go back to prison for murder again. So that's where a Lessersode comes in. Think of it like a palate cleanser of sorts between full episodes, or between real murders, to carry on that stupid metaphor. But before I start, I believe Greg from our Tomb Raider series has a podcast review he wants to read for us.
Hello, I'm pretty goddamn sick of people calling me Gary online. I saw that happen a couple of times. My name is Greg. We have one here from Ryan Scott. He's got a 0 in his name because he has no self-esteem. Sorry, Ryan. These guys are idiots. It is delightful. That's the title. He goes on to say, Caleb and Travis elevate these lesser tales with irreverence, questionable accents, and esoteric pop culture references. It's 5 stars worth of good times.
Wait, name one time we've had a questionable accent in this entire podcast.
I cannot think of one.
I can't either. Guy from, I'm gonna guess, Uzbekistan?
Or 3. I can't even think of 3.
So you may remember in the previous Lessersode, way back in August of 2020, we joked about Blaster Master and how I kept calling it Master Blaster. So in this episode, we figured, why not go in and talk all about the story of... I can do this. You can believe in me, listener. Believe me, Travis.
You can do it, buddy. Come on, you got it.
Blaster Master.
All right.
All right, yes. If you're a fan of retro video games, you've certainly heard of this one. The basic premise of Master Blaster, released on the NES and What?
Blaster Master.
Yeah, that's what I said. Laura.
No.
Released on the NES in North America way back in 1988 is simple. You might remember something about a boy named Jason, his pet frog named Fred, and an unexpected subterranean adventure. Of course,
aren't they all?
There's more to it than that, which we'll cover shortly. Many listeners might not be aware that Blaster Master actually has several sequels. Blaster Master 2 was released only in North America for the Sega Genesis in 1993. A year prior, the Game Boy had its own entry with Blaster Master Boy, as it was known in North America, also known as Blaster Master Jr. in Europe. In the year 2000, Blaster Master knocked off a 7-year hiatus with Blaster Master Enemy Below on the Game Boy Color. A year after that, Blaster Master Blasting Again arrived on the PlayStation and was the series' first and so far only foray into 3D. And most recently, 2 more entries have resurrected the franchise, with Blaster Master Zero and Blaster Master Zero 2 arriving on the Nintendo Switch. And don't worry, you don't have to keep track of all of that. In fact, Blaster Master Boy hardly has any narrative at all and is essentially Bomberman under a different name. As for the new and shiny Blaster Master Zeros, well, those are reboots and won't factor into our narrative here today. Not directly, anyway. Both the reboots and our story today will pull elements from the Worlds of Power novelization, but we won't be pulling from the Japanese version of the NES game Metafight, whereas the reboot games do. But you don't care about all that. I know you don't, and frankly, neither do we.
No, so let's just wrap it up.
So put away the whiteboard or the yarn and push pins or whatever you're doing to try to keep track of this crazy logic. We've put all the game's narratives together for you in a single Lessersode on all things Blaster Master. Let's get started.
I'm super excited, man. This was a game that I rented a ton as a kid, and I believe we eventually just ended up keeping it from that rental store and never bringing it back. And I don't think we were charged for it. So technically, I stole it. It's still my hot copy. I still have that one hot copy from Green Hill Market. You know, you could go to that market and you could get like a bucket of, it was like a hunter's paradise. You get a bucket of minnows, some yoo-hoo, some worms, and go fishing, and then also you could rent some Blaster Master there too. So it was a good one-stop shop for us little Appalachian folk.
Man, that sounds like my kind of place because I love hunting, and my favorite thing to hunt, minnows.
Exactly.
That would have been the easiest place to do that. Wow.
I loved going there because I was like, dude, Dad, hunting these little fish is like hunting these little fish in this giant barrel. It's pretty crazy.
You should turn that into an idiom or something.
I will try.
An idiom that one of the characters we're going to be talking about today would not understand, actually. So look forward to that. We're planting a seed for you, dear listeners. Stay tuned. Yeah, I used to rent this thing all the time, too. And I don't know if you were like me, but I never even got close to beating it.
No.
Not even a little bit. I watched a Let's Play of it later on in life, and even watching the Let's Play, I'm thinking, how would someone know to do that? It's one of those games that it was like kind of a Metroidvania-style game, but with no tips or hints to tell you where to go, at least not that I was aware of. However, I did end up playing Blaster Master Zero later on, and that game I actually really, really, really enjoyed. It's basically the first Blaster Master game, but just a lot of quality of life improvements, much easier, which I was a huge fan of. And it was actually a super good game. So
I like the map in the NES Blaster Master manual is just 8 squares with numbers on them. And I didn't have the manual growing up because, again, I stole this from a redneck shop. And but for some reason that manual unlocked a whole lot for me because I was like, oh, you got to go to like different places. You don't just hang around in that first spot and drown over and over. Huh.
Right. But still, that was enough for you to keep renting it. So it must have been fun just to drown in that first area.
It is kind of fun to drown in that. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember playing it thinking, why should I ever get out of the vehicle? Because like you instantly die if you get hit like once, and I'm thinking, no, that's stupid. I'm just going to stay in the vehicle the whole time, and I'm not realizing that getting out of the vehicle is a pretty integral part of the gameplay.
Quite most of it, even.
Yeah, some might say that's way more of the game. Our sources for this episode include GameFAQs.com walkthroughs, the Blaster Master Fandom.wiki page, the game's manuals and cutscenes, as well as the Blaster Master novel written by FX9. For the Worlds of Power book series that took NES games and novelized them to encourage children, boys especially, to read more. And it worked for Travis.
It did it good for me.
Yeah, it was weird. He had to call me up a few times in the middle of reading it to help me pronounce words with him. And just hearing Travis sound out the word "the" was really, really hilarious to me.
Yeah.
But you got it. You got it after a while. Good job, man.
It looks a lot like tee-hee. I like it. It's a fun word.
You thought it was a book full of laughter.
Yeah. Tee-hee.
So let's get on with this story, shall we? It all started when Jason Frudnick awoke from a weird dream. In that dream, he was investigating a strange noise. That is strange. He had tried to enter a door, assuming the noise was coming from the other side, but the knob turned to goo and squished between his fingers when he went to open it.
Wait a minute now. How old is Jason? Is he early teens? Did he just have a wet dream?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Jason managed to enter the room, and there was a large dinosaur-sized entity staring back at him. He couldn't even process the entirety of its size or even its shape, but it was massive. Just as he feared, the entity was about to destroy him. Boom! He lands on the floor, having just fallen out of bed. Awake now, he could still hear that noise.
RB.
He looked over toward his pet frog's tank, where the noise was coming from. Jason knew Fred, his pet frog, to ribbit, but this was a different noise.
RB. RB.
Jason curiously inspected Fred, who was banging himself off the tank's glass. Jason lifted him out and placed him on the table, and Fred frantically hopped away out of Jason's door, down the hallway, down the steps, and to the home's foyer, where he continued hopping and bashed his body against the front door. Fearing Fred would injure himself, Jason opened the door to see where Fred was leading him to.
First mistake.
Fred led Jason on a wild, wait for it, frog chase, all across their quiet beach town of Batrachia, New York. Batrachian, by the way, is a zoological term for a tailless amphibian, i.e. a frog. Anyway, to Jason's dread, the frog made its way to the thick and stinky swamp on the outskirts of town. Jason still chased his pet, but eventually, Fred was out of view and in the thick muck of the swamp. Jason screamed for Fred to come back, a futile effort. His pet was gone, and he was there crying about it in his slippers, shin-deep in thick swamp muck. He ventured on, aimlessly searching for Fred and calling out for him, knowing that a frog had never answered to its name.
Yeah, man. And you think about, what is it, that horse from Neverending Story, Artax, when he goes sinking in the swamp. Oh, I used to cry and cry for that horse. Oh, it's still choking me up now just thinking about it.
The difference here, though, and this is a little concerning with this whole story, is that Jason takes his frog, puts it in an aquarium, and probably puts some water in there, some rocks, some leaves to sort of recreate its natural environment, make it feel at home. Mm-hmm. And then for some weird reason, this frog wants to go live in a swamp where frogs live. He should have recognized this, that was, the frog was just trying to escape. It was just a standard frog trying to escape. Whereas in the Neverending Story, horses, they don't belong in swampy mucks.
They don't.
That's what I've learned.
Can you imagine if there was a thing called a swamp horse? That'd be great.
Oh, man.
Because you think about, when you're in a swamp, you're usually it's gators and skaters and the occasional frog. But what if there was a chance you could find a horse? I bet there'd be more people willing to chance the swamp, being like, but sometimes there's horses. We should go. Sometimes there's horses in here. There's swamp horses. Let's go. Who wants to go to the swamp with me?
But yeah, when has that ever worked, though, with regular horses in fields? Hey, anyone want to go to this field with me? There's horses. Nope, still no.
I think there's a chance you can catch one in a swamp.
I don't think I want to catch a swamp horse. A swamp horse feels like the same kind of thing as you would call a sea lion. It's not really a lion. It's just a thing in a sea. So a swamp horse is really just is Sasquatch. That's a swamp horse. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a good point.
Yeah. But then again, if you lured me into a swamp and said we're going to find Sasquatch, all right, I'm on board. I can do that.
See?
Walking through some tall vegetation, he happens upon a clearing where all the grass appears to be scorched. He spies a box in the middle and swears he can see Fred sitting on it. And it appears his pet frog is glowing. Jason runs over, excited to have found his pet, but before he can pick up Fred, Jason is taken aback as Fred appears bigger. A second later, Fred grows again, now double the size. And a moment later, the size of a Cocker Spaniel. A moment later, the size of a panther. A moment later, the size of a swamp horse. Jason stumbles backward, afraid. His frog, now enormous, sinks into the ground, leaving a giant bottomless hole behind.
Your mom's vagina.
No. We're talking about the first Blaster Master, and I think you know that, Travis.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Besides, nobody would leave my mom's vagina behind.
By the way, it's T first Blaster Master.
Jason, of course, jumps into the hole in search of his frog.
Sorry. Still cracking up. Why did Teehee get me again? Jesus Christ. Sorry.
Because you just learned that word. When you first learn words, you want to use them.
Oh, fuck. That was dumb.
Jason, of course, jumps in the hole in search of his frog. It's not a vagina, but you'll find out soon it kind of is. Anyway, in the game, this is essentially where your action begins. In the Blaster Master novelization by FX9, Jason lands at the bottom of the hole and is surrounded by glowing green tunnels and no sign of his frog or the box he spotted him on before he grew and sunk. He soon comes to a large vehicle underground, and upon walking up close to it, the door opens and someone sticks a gun out and points it at his face. This is, of course, the vehicle Jason bombs around in throughout Blaster Master, called Sophia the Third. But we'll just refer to it as the Sophia from here on. But the character pointing the gun at Jason in the novel is not in the game. This character was written so that Jason would have some dialogue and to build the story out. We have included this character in the novel here as part of our telling of the narrative, as she becomes a mainstay in the series going forward thanks to the novelization.
Yeah, and I kind of wish God had written me in a little bit of a good companionship there. That'd been nice. Loneliness kind of sucks, you know what I mean?
Yeah, nice for you, though, but who wants to read a book about how some person's life was ruined because they had to hang out with you? That's not like a very good book.
Yeah. Isn't that Of Mice and Men? I feel like that's how that one turned out.
Are you Letty? Are you petting rabbits too hard? And
I was going to say I was the rabbit.
The one aiming the gun at him has a female voice and asks Jason what his business is down here. He tells her he is looking for his pet frog, which I'll go ahead and say she didn't believe him. I mean, why would you? She lowers the gun and hands him a bodysuit identical to hers. It comes with a helmet that obscures the face of the wearer, much like hers. She invites him inside her vehicle that she dubs the Sophia, and then tells him her name. Her name is spelled YVTRKIZJ, but recognizing that Jason couldn't pronounce that, she allows him to just call her Eve. She indicates that Earth is not her home planet. Even on top of everything else he's seen on this day, Jason is skeptical for some reason.
So, you mean to tell me your name isn't, like, Polish?
I'm not even from this planet.
So, not Polish then?
Yeah, not Polish at all. I've never had a Polish sausage. I've never been to anywhere in Europe. This is my first place on the Earth.
It just kind of feels so European. Is Europe a planet? Maybe I'm just wrong about what planets are.
Europa is a moon. That's close, I guess. Oh, all right, a little pass. Okay, you can just... I'm Polish. Yay!
Sweet, thanks, Evie.
Can you give me a quick history of Earth's Polish people? How should I act? Please do a Polish accent if you could.
Oh, I like sausage. I like the sausage too.
That's all I got.
Well, you sound just like my dad. It is here that Jason realizes Eve's grasp of the English language isn't fantastic. One of Eve's more adorable qualities quickly broaches on annoying. She has a habit of confusing like-sounding words and has no grasp of idioms. When Jason asks her if the reference to another planet is some kind of joke, she responds with, "I do not see what the yellow center of an egg has to do with this." Of course, meaning yolk. This is cute for the first few times it happens, but at some point, after Eve is able to speak more in depth and intelligently to Jason about the circumstances they face without issue, you wonder if the word confusion is really a quirk, or rather some obnoxious habit.
Dude, this person sounds like your absolute worst nightmare, Caleb. They're bad at words, full of illogical excuses for things, and it's a female actually talking to you. I don't think you would survive 10 minutes alone with her without some kind of aneurysm.
Oh, no. As soon as I saw that there was a female character, I read the entire book as a horror story. I can't believe Jason survived. Girls are scary.
They have cooties.
Oh, God. I didn't know that. Oh, man. Once in the driver's seat of the Sophia, Eve removes her helmet and reveals long red hair and a freckled face. Jason reckons she looks like any typical American teenager to him, yet she alluded to being from a different planet. She then navigates Jason through the Sophia control panel. Each button has a different label, like gun, crusher, hyper, key, homing missile, thunder brake, multi-warhead missile, hover gauge, dive gauge, wall climber, ceiling transport. Those all sound really fun.
Yeah, they do.
A moment later, the Sophia and its occupants are face to face with a giant robot. Unfortunately, upon trying to fire their weapons at it, Eve realizes the power to the weapons system is down. Thinking quickly, she's able to use an emergency jump feature to launch the vehicle over the robot and out of its wake as it prepares to jump on top of the vehicle to smash it. Realizing they cleared the giant robot, Jason tells Eve, "Good job," to which she replies,
Don't count your turkeys before they're in the bush.
God, that's dumb. Upon landing, they both realize the weapons are back online, but now there are 2 giant robots approaching the vehicle. And the vehicle can't jump over 2 robots for some reason, I assume.
Do it.
Eve aims and fires on them with missiles launching out of the hood and blowing the robots to smithereens. Before Eve can explain to Jason how the special weapon gauge works, the Sophia begins to plummet off the edge of a cliff and down toward bubbling hot lava.
Oh, no. She makes an excellent point, though. I was counting my turkeys before they were in the bush once, and turns out some of the turkeys tried to fool me. They were dressed as a bush, so I had miscounted. I ended up with way too many turkeys.
Turkeys win again. Mm-hmm. Jason closes his eyes to brace for the end, but the Sophia bounces back up. Eve explains that as long as the Sophia can touch a surface, it can bounce upward from it. If they had stuck around on the lava, in her words, they would have been
Social studies.
to which Jason surmises she means history.
So she has a strong grasp of grade school course names on this planet, but she can't handle idioms.
Yeah. She's an idiot. Once in the safe spot, Eve explains what is going on in more detail. She tells him she is from the tiny planet of Signar L, and her father ruled a country named Poomblorg, and was also an astroscientist who trained Eve.
Poomblorg? Poomblorg sounds like a slang term for a hemorrhoid.
Yeah. To get to Poomblorg, you have to travel through the hemorrhoid belt.
Oh, that would make sense.
Or the asteroid belt. I wasn't really sure which one to go with on there. Which one's funnier, asteroid belt or hemorrhoid belt?
I think they're side by side, so it kind of makes sense.
Okay. Eve continues to tell Jason about her life.
One pokes through the other. I'm sorry, I had to.
And thank you for doing so. The listeners appreciate it for sure. She was awarded the Nova Red Prize for Science for her theories on intergalactic life forms. Her theory being that they speak in weird idioms, and she's right. Good job. Good job, Eve. She has come to Earth by way of a mission to seek out more alien life forms. When she found Earth, she radioed back to Signar L to share the news, but her commander told her not to give out her coordinates, and then the communication was broken. It was too late, though. She had, in fact, already given out her coordinates. Worried what could have happened, she sped back home to her planet, but all she found was a glowing mass of radioactivity. The entire planet, every living thing on it, was destroyed.
Sorry, what was that? I zoned out.
I said every living thing from my home planet was killed when I got back.
Whoa, even the frogs?
Yes, Jason, even the frogs.
Oh, man. Kitties? Did the kitties make it?
No, Jason, everything died.
Wow. Oh, so like, even your parents are dead?
Quite dead.
Oh, man. That must be really sad. Well, it's a good thing you weren't there.
Trust me, I know.
To see your parents die like that, oh man, dead parents, gross. That really sounds like it sucks, man. Like to have like dead parents, and your last words to them were probably something like, "Yo, parents, we need more TP," or "Hey, yo, I just had my menarche," or something.
It was... Actually, it was the TP thing.
Right on. My parents are so alive.
That's nice.
Yeah, man. Parents sure are great. You wouldn't know, dude, but trust me, they're pretty cool. Pretty cool.
God. What a jerk.
Yeah.
Not believing her own eyes, she still attempted to contact someone on her home planet over the radio, and to her astonishment, a voice came back through. It was a booming voice, so loud she had to cover her ears. It identified itself as the Plutonium boss, and told Eve it was delighted to call Signar L its home. Turns out it had been beneath the surface for thousands of years, using the deeply buried plutonium as its food source. Once it had burned through the plutonium, it burst through the surface and devastated everything when it did.
Yeah, so kind of like if you zippered yourself up into a sleeping bag and then had someone feed you burritos until, well, until you burst through the surface and just devastated everything. And then your mom, she would be especially devastated because she would, of course, have to come and clean up all of the burrito shrapnel and all of your wet dream remnants and whatnot you got there in that old sleeping bag. But yeah, am I getting that right?
Of course, you just had to bring up all the wonderful memories you had of your mom. Oh, God.
Yeah. She loved to clean up my sleeping bag. I left sour cream in it. From the burritos.
The voice then thanked Eve for providing her coordinates because it needed a new source of power and another source of plutonium, so it had followed her to Earth as a large invisible vapor and buried itself beneath the surface of the Earth. It is her mission to find and destroy it before it ruins more lives. Jason now realizes the gravitas of the situation. He only meant to get his pet frog back. Now he's faced with saving the entire planet?
Dadgummit.
Still curious about the large chest and the hole he found when he last saw Fred, he asks Eve about it, who tells him that the plutonium boss feeds off of the methane in the swamp. However, she could not explain the chest he saw. She assumes that hole Jason fell down was one of the plutonium boss's blowholes. Loud laughter booms around them and echoes off the walls. The disembodied voice begins to speak and details through rhyme what lays ahead for Jason and Eve.
Welcome to the underground. Please feel free to turn around. But should you choose to forge ahead, heed this, the Turians when you're dead. The traps are set for fools who dare. A dozen levels safe to bear. To find your host, plutonium boss, that's me, plutonium boss. First go down and then a cross. Thence to your death and the planet's lost. I wrote all that myself this morning over coffee. All right.
It's weird because it sounds like he's trying to give them hints to the game, but at the same time it leads them to their death. So if they follow that map, they're extra stupid. They probably deserve to die. So let's read on and see if maybe they don't do that. So if you did the math there, that's 8 total levels and a little hint about how to find where you need to go with the first go down and a cross piece. If you played Blaster Master, you might know that the map is laid out a bit like a Metroidvania, and exploring to find the next stage or boss is a big part of the experience. In fact, shortly after this voice rings out with instruction, they find a decrepit and broken sign for level 2, but realize shortly after exploring the area that the enemies here are too tough for them. Eve says,
We're dead beats.
and Jason corrects her to, dead meat. They reckon they should go find level 1 to get some better weaponry. And at this point, I think we could all agree Jason is just being an asshole. Come on, Jason. Beats can be dead too.
Absolutely, Jason.
Soon after, while bouncing around in the Sophia, they come to a door too narrow for the vehicle to pass through. Jason elects to go explore and leave Eve to guard the Sophia. Don't get out of the car, Jason. I've played this game. You're going to die very quickly. Once inside, he sees he's surrounded by giant cement blocks arranged all around the room. Curiously, he fires his laser at a few and breaks them apart. This is kind of fun to do, so he keeps doing it, and to his surprise, inside one of the blocks that his laser gun turned to dust, he finds an orb. When he touches it, it absorbs into his suit. He finds orbs that upgrade his suit's energy, as well as weapon upgrades. He questions how the holographic casing of the orbs can be absorbed into the suit, but has no answers.
I like that about the way FX9 writes this book, in that he presents these very video gamey quandaries as if they are really happening. He has the character kind of question it, like how does me touching an orb go into my suit? I don't know. And he doesn't really explain it, but at least he questioned it. I like that.
Yeah.
He acknowledged the hocus pocus of it and was like, we don't know how it happened, but that is kind of weird, right? You just touch it, it just happens.
It is. It's moments like that that make me realize FX9 was just having some damn fun writing this thing, you know?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Once the area is fully investigated for items and all of the concrete has been lasered to piles of dust, Jason leaves, but as he exits, he slips and falls off the edge of a cliff and plummets into the water far below. He panics, fearing he'll drown. He doesn't know where Eve and the Sophia have gone, and he's sure he'll die alone here. But the area around him lights up with a school of phosphorescent jellyfish coming toward him. He realizes at this moment that he's fine. His suit is keeping him alive, and to his surprise, his laser gun also works underwater. The jellyfish were also surprised to learn that the laser gun works underwater. And that's, boys and girls, how racist grandpas are born.
Grandpa Jellyfish, why do you hate humans so much?
Because when you try to help them by lighting up a dark underwater trench so they can escape to the surface, they shoot you with laser guns.
Oh, come on, Grandpa. I don't think that they all do that.
Also, they wear their pants too damn low.
I heard them listening to hip-hop.
All that jibbity-jabbity. Jibbity-jabbity music, you know, that stuff. Still underwater, Jason spies a ladder extending upward out of the dark abyss. It was nice for the Plutonian boss to build ladders for Jason. I don't know. Like, isn't he the only thing under the Earth's surface? I don't know. This is stupid. Still underwater, Jason spies a ladder extending upward out of the dark abyss. He climbs and climbs and climbs, hoping it leads him back to Eve, but instead, there's only another narrow door. With nowhere else to go and not wanting to go back down to face the scary jellyfish he just left behind, he enters. While exploring the area, he eventually comes to a giant being, or rather, a mini-boss. It talks to him, and he argues with it a bit over who is encroaching on whose turf. Before it reveals itself, it scares the heck out of Jason. At first, he didn't want to look at it, but eventually he opens his eyes to see what is set on killing him. The creature before him was morphing. What started as a mass of animal blubber slowly transforms into what Jason imagines a tumor to look like. Its skin pulsating like a human heart, scraggly feelers drooped down from it almost like a beard. It was a putrid greenish yellow, and it continued to throb and let out a deep, groaning sound.
Women have actually described sex with me using a lot of these same words.
Yeah, those descriptions are part of the official legal record in your state, I think, aren't they? I hope you win the cases, by the way. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
At that moment, a ring of fireballs appears around it and begins to spin as the monster comes toward him. And that's another one of those moments where he's obviously just describing exactly what the boss is like, but it's very video gamey. I love that. It was worse than Jason could have imagined. At the right moment, he times the passing fireballs and rushes inside their protective circle to fire on the monster. Now encircled in the flames, he has to go where the monster goes, who eventually pushes him into a corner. Jason continues to fire, closing his eyes and hoping for the best. Eventually, the being falls limp, dead. Jason has done it. He's killed who he believes is the Plutonian boss. Cocky now, he walks by and spits on the body and tries to find his way out of this place. Once back outside, he makes his way to Eve, who is hanging out in the Sophia. He shares the news of what he's done, but at that moment, a loud laughing and booming voice rings out around them. It tells them that he is the Plutonian boss, and he's very much alive, and all Jason killed was a mutant underboss. And he takes the time to specify that it was the weakest one, the one he had chosen to guard the first level. Disappointed, Eve and Jason head back to the sign for level 2 they spied earlier. They need to push forward. Jason turns to Eve, his jaw set firm. I will fight to the last breath. For Fred. For the planet. If the Plutonian boss is going to succeed, it won't be because I didn't try. Eve tells him he's a big sandwich on a long roll, to which Jason corrects her to mean hero.
It's actually very telling, and I think we'll see this come up again and again, is that Jason always puts his frog ahead of humankind. Like, seriously, no one has ever loved anything this much less a frog.
Frog's mom didn't love Frog this much.
I know. It's true. It's so true.
They enter the area beyond the sign for level 2, and FX9 describes it as a giant hollow metal pipe the diameter of a football field. The Sophia's engine echoes off the walls. Jason quips that they've ended up in the sewer, which even in 1988 wouldn't be a video game first. While down here, the Sophia gets in a bit of a pickle. After a giant leap, her roof is pierced by some bladed spikes hanging down from the ceiling. The vehicle hangs like a kebab until Eve and Jason rock it free and send it falling back to the ground where they can inspect the damage. They repair the holes in the roof as best they can and take the time to explore some of the surrounding doors in the area for upgrades. It was on the other side of one of those doors that Jason comes face to face with another underboss. This time, Jason was ready for the spinning fireballs and the hideous mass of unsightly pulsating flesh, but that's not what he gets this time. Once again, the narrative written by FX9 asserts that Jason maintains his motivation to fight by first thinking of Fred, and then thinking of the world's second. It was during that moment where he was trying to psych himself up that the second underboss appears, and it is a giant crab. A giant freaking crab. And this crab was capable of pouncing.
Yikes. I've been inside some establishments in my life where you could spy the pouncing crabs right there on the urinal, which is why I, and like any man worth his merit, carries an extra ping pong paddle in my back pocket for deflecting those bastards away before they land on my enormous yet cozy bush.
I like how it's an extra ping pong paddle. You know, we all carry one.
Of course.
But you don't want to use that one to bat away pouncing crabs. You want to use your extra one.
Yeah.
Or what
if
if the crab takes it and starts using it against you? You want to make sure you have a spare so that you guys could bat each other with ping pong paddles.
I know, he starts spanking me, and then he realizes I like it, and now I have a naughty crab boyfriend that I keep visiting at a urinal stall in the back of an old bathroom. Ah, man, it wouldn't be the first time.
I think even worse than that image is the other image you forced me to conjure, and that's the possibility of a pillow filled not with feathers or cotton, but with pubes, and how awesome that would be as a gag gift. You know, you mentioning your enormous yet cozy bush.
Yeah.
I kind of want to give that to someone for a gag gift.
You want to rest your head on a pillow of big old bush. All right.
No, I don't want to. I'm giving that to someone else.
Oh, good.
After I test it out thoroughly, of course.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
I'm a good friend. I don't just want to give someone something that's defective.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The crab moves toward him, frantically pinching its claws together in vicious attempts to sever Jason in two. Jason rolls on the ground, firing his laser pistol at the creature, getting a few hits on it before it opens its mouth. Jason was hoping it would scream or at least say, ouch, but instead, it shoots 3 flaming balls of metal at him. Darn. He dodges them, and they explode against the wall and splinter into shrapnel-like grenades. This boss means business. Finally, Jason drops to his stomach and uses both hands on his pistol, fires on the crab's face until it explodes, causing the room to shake violently. As he gets to his feet, he wonders if his beloved Fred has been transformed into a hideous creature such as this.
Probably, Jason. Jesus, Mrs. Piggy wasn't this horny for a frog.
When Jason returns to the Sophia, things get a little more weird. He hops in and soon realizes that who he thinks is Eve in the front seat is not responding to him. He tries to touch her to snap her out of the trance, but his hand goes through her. She's a hologram. As soon as he realizes this, the loud, disembodied voice booms aloud again and taunts Jason, confirming that he has kidnapped Eve. Jason offers up himself and demands the Plutonium boss take him instead. Jason insists that they forego these other 6 levels and to fight each other now, but the Plutonium boss just laughs and says,
Hey, guy, the reason I haven't taken you is because humans are too frail. I need tough species. Ones that I can mutate into new forms that serve my needs. The last time I tried that on a human, he fell apart. You consider yourself the most advanced form? The most advanced life form? Ha! I've had much more success with amphibians, huh? And of course, natives in that hardy planet out there, that Signael.
Here he's referring to, of course, Eve.
Yeah, that's right. Man, I love the Plutonium boss. He's like,
Hey, guy down there. Hey, guy down there.
Yeah, dude?
Think your name's Jason or something. Hey, look. Looks to me like you're covered in a bunch of fabric or something.
Oh, yeah, dude, you mean clothes.
Yeah, you look dumb.
Yeah.
You look fucking dumb. That shit's just gonna slow you down.
No, man, humans wear clothes, man.
Come on.
Yeah, no, they do. Sorry, we gotta do it, man. It's the law.
Come on, guy. Come on.
No, we have to. I'm not taking them off, man.
Fine. God, guy. Jesus.
Also, since you're so easy to persuade, do you mind not fucking up my planet?
I'll think about it. I do like to write some more. I'll write some more poetry about it and see if I can maybe leave some clues and whatnot. I got you, guy. You're a good guy there, Jason.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. You're so cool, man. You appreciate that, man. Here, FX9 does a bit of a speed run through the levels to follow. Jason whizzes by robots in level 3. By the time he finishes level 4, the Sophia has plenty of upgrades, able to hover for longer, shoot in every direction, and it can climb walls. The level 4 underboss was a frog that hopped all around him. At first, Jason feared the worst, but upon closer inspection, he could tell somehow that it wasn't Fred. In fact, it ended up being a different breed altogether. This one is a giant bullfrog. After he defeats the long-tongued bullfrog, he's hit with a wave of fatigue and sits down to take a rest. But something here catches his attention. Across the room where he fought the frog, he sees a door cracked open with something hanging loosely out of it. It looks like an arm. Jason, now re-energized with wonder, walks over to investigate, and upon opening the door is further horrified to see the still alive body of a boy laying there. A boy he recognizes.
Hey, guy down there, hey. Has he got that fabric on?
God, Plutonian boss, get out of here, man.
All right, geez, guy. Jeez.
His name was Alex. Suddenly, Jason recalled the words from the Plutonian boss about the last time he tried a human. The human must have been Alex. Jason convinces Alex, who is reluctant to do anything but hide, to follow him. On their way, they talk about how they each got here and their encounters so far. Alex says he followed his pet down a hole, much like Jason chased Fred. And to Jason's surprise, Alex had also encountered Eve, but suspiciously did not like Eve. He claimed to Jason that Eve had dumped him and left him behind, and even threatened him with her gun. Jason assumed Alex was being a little dramatic and carried on.
And it's also it's also important to note that Alex is also not in the game. This is just an FX9 character here, but just wanted to clarify that one.
They make their way to level 5, where Jason goes in and destroys the mutated lobster there. In level 6, Alex apparently goes in with Jason to help him defeat that underboss. On their way to level 7, the environment completely changes into a snow-covered and frozen tundra. Icicles hang everywhere. The ground is slick with ice and snow. Suddenly, in the distance, they spot a figure running toward them. Jason soon recognizes the figure as Eve, and she appears to be okay. She's running toward them with a smile on her face, waving her arms frantically, motioning them to her location.
Oh boy.
Jason points the vehicle in her direction to meet up with her, but glances over to see Alex's face is more serious. Alex takes his gun and aims it out the window toward Eve. Jason notices this and yells for Alex to stop, crying out in disbelief as Alex pulls the trigger and sends gunfire in her direction.
Oh no!
As it would turn out, this was in fact not Eve, and not a hologram of Eve, but a clever disguise used by the Plutonian boss.
Hey.
Alex knew about this because in his distant memories of being down here, he recalled being experimented on for the same purpose in a laboratory. Laboratory.
Oh, thank God.
That one almost skipped by me on that one.
Jesus Christ.
But it did not work on him. The Plutonian boss stated that Alex was too weak to withstand the modifications necessary. The explanation for how all of this worked is flimsy at best, but just know that Alex recognized the figure running toward them was actually an IED disguised to look like Eve. He shoots her, she explodes. It was not really Eve.
Oh, well, thank God. But hey, we got to think, what if it had been Eve? You know, people have been wrong before. This is already a pretty short book. Could have been a pamphlet.
Once Jason calms down and allows Alex to convince him that he did not actually kill Eve, they set forth to level 7. Upon entry, Jason hears the familiar from earlier. As he moves, it gets louder. He must be getting closer. He spies a door, one that appears to be frozen over. This is just like the dream he had in the opening sequence of our story. In the dream, he opened the door to blackness. There was nothing there, and that's when he woke up. This time, he knew he was wide awake. What would be on the other side? The noise continued. He put his hand on the doorknob and twisted. Once again, the knob turned to goo and went through his fingers. He pulls the door open. Once again, he was faced with complete darkness. Nothing to see. Alex begged Jason to run. Jason almost obliged, but stepped in instead. He needed to be brave now. A large tongue swiped near him. He pulled out his gun and then dropped it. He fell to his knees. This creature is his pet frog, Fred. He wanted more than anything to defeat the Plutonian boss, but he didn't know if he could do this. He didn't know if he could actually kill his pet frog, Fred, the underboss of level 7.
Just do it!
Alex tries to get Jason to fight back and constantly chides him about it until Jason finally tells him that the creature is his pet frog. The frog lashes them with his tongue and sends them flying and smashing into some rocks. Alex continues to goad Jason into fighting back. Jason declares that he can't hurt Fred. Alex disputes and tells Jason there is no way that was his pet frog, unless he kept it in a garage 4 stories high with padded ceiling in case he jumps. Jason isn't amused. He reminds Alex what the plutonium boss is capable of in regard to the genetic manipulation and asserts he could pick Fred out of a lineup of every frog on Long Island. Why are all the frogs in a lineup? What kind of frog murder happened where the police are bringing in a bunch of frog suspects?
Oh, man.
Anyway.
And Kermit's one of them. Hey, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
I know I'm the only one that could speak English and hold a gun, but it wasn't me. Alex finally agrees and says he could do the same for Plutarch.
Wait, what, dude? Plutarch?
Jason asks.
Yeah, my pet lobster.
Alex replies.
Oh, no. We killed a lobster.
I know, that did go by pretty quickly, right? He didn't seem too fazed by it. I think Alex was just lying to get Jason to shut up about this frog.
Yeah.
Jason recalls that they just fought and killed what was likely Plutarch, the giant lobster mini-boss back in level 5. Jason asks Alex why he didn't say anything then, and Alex uses this opportunity to make a point. He tells Jason that what they killed in level 5 wasn't Plutarch, just as this giant frog isn't Fred. Their pets are long gone now, and there are bigger matters at hand. Satisfied with Alex's justification, Jason lined up a shot on Fred's face and fired until the giant frog was vaporized. Jason then fell to his knees once more, overcome with sadness. Jason didn't get much time to mourn as the ice cave started to crumble. He and Alex try to scramble to an exit, but become trapped by the falling ice. Then, strangely, their bodies start to elevate and begin zipping through time and space. They could not control where they were going, and could only see the fallen enemies of their venture so far flash before their eyes, until at last they were face to face with none other than the plutonium boss.
Hey, it's me, Plutony. Hey, guys. Hey.
Hi, Plutony. Fearing a very hideous beast, Jason slowly peeks through the slits of his slowly opening eyes in full dread of what waits before him. Starting from the top, the plutonium boss's head was the size of a building, with 2 large muscle lumps where his eyes should have been. Fleshy folds rippled down the center of the head, ending in a gruesome mouth surrounded by horns. The mouth was in constant motion, dripping fireballs out of it, revealing jagged, dagger-like teeth. The chin scraped the ground, causing sparks to fly. There was no real body to speak of, but 2 muscular legs jutting out from the sides. There were spikes protruding from the knees and gnarled feet ending in massive, sharp claws.
Hey, what's the matter?
Asked the plutonium boss.
Don't you find me attractive?
No.
Hey, guy.
I said no.
Come on.
No, you're hideous, man. I'm attracted to Alex. I mean...
Ah, that hurts my feelings, guy. Wait, what? You're attracted to who?
Jason, what was that? Did you say you were attracted to me?
That's what he said, guy. Wow, this is really something else.
No, it's not what it sounds like, Alex. I'm sorry.
You guys are gonna go master blasting together. Hey, I said the name of the thing and the thing. Hey, wait a minute. What's the name of the game again? Blaster Master. I mean, that's fine. I 100% support that. You boys, you go have fun. You go do yours. Good luck to yous. Whatnot, therefore, and such.
Wow, Plutony is surprisingly accepting. I like him. All of a sudden. He was annoying at first, but good on you, Plutony. Alex screams, "Oh, it's a rat!" Jason is confused by this. The plutonium boss tells them that he's actually impressed with their perseverance, and instead of vanquishing them immediately, as they might fear, he instead intends to reward them. He steps aside, and they each see Eve chained up across the room. Although clearly terrified and shouting, she is able to explain in good detail what is happening here. She tells Alex that it is in fact a rat, and to her it is a flying predator from Signar L. To everyone, she explains, the plutonium boss appears as something it knows will frighten you. It has no true form.
What a fucking lack of imagination Alex has. He can only see a rat? Like, that seriously, like, after all you've been through, that's the scariest thing you can think of, Alex?
Yeah, why not? I see a crazy underworld full of giant lobsters and a sinister amorphous blob hell-bent on destroying Earth, and a rat.
But everyone looks like, oh shit, where's the rat?
Yeah. Kill it! Ew, kill it! Jason shoots his gun toward it, but the plutonium boss is unfazed and knocks the weapon away. The boss goes on to explain that the 3 of them will be his test subjects for his plutonium extraction accelerator. With any success, it will destroy the planet immediately, and he will reap the rewards of its succulent resources he desires so greatly. Suddenly, Alex and Jason are dragged by an invisible force toward what the Plutonium boss dubbed the Cyclotron. Eve, still chained up, notices that while using this force, the Plutonium boss flickered. She reckons that the boss's own life force and that of the Cyclotron were tied together, and if the Cyclotron could be destroyed, perhaps too would the boss. It seems contrived and not well explained, but in their defense, it's the only play they have.
So wait, is FX9, is this his meta way of explaining screen flicker on the old NES? If so, that's pretty well played. I appreciate that.
Jason reaches for the laser pistol that had been knocked away from him earlier with all his might, fighting the force dragging him into the room. He aims at the Cyclotron and fires. The Plutonium boss staggers backward. It worked! He can be hurt this way.
All right.
With the Cyclotron off, he can fire on the boss and damage it. But the Cyclotron is starting back up, and the boss is in full fight mode, firing pulsating energy orbs at them as he collects himself. Firing a few more shots, the weakened boss clings to the Cyclotron as it powers back on, and he gets sucked inside. There's no time to celebrate. It looks like a giant explosion is imminent. Eve, who has finally broken from her chains, appears with them in time to give the bad news. There will be no way to escape, and once the Cyclotron explodes, the world will go with it.
Oh, man. And Jason only cares about one thing, and it's disgusting.
Bad news, Jason.
No way, Eve. I don't believe in bad news.
Well, when the Cyclotron explodes, some people call it a Cryotron, but I call it a Cyclotron. When the Cyclotron explodes, the world will go with it.
Yeah, okay.
Jason, you don't care that the whole world will explode and everyone will die?
Well, like, does everyone include Fred?
Yes, it does include Fred.
Oh, no, dude. No bueno. Oh, my God. What do we fucking do? Oh, my God. What? No. Fred, my frog.
Fred hates him, though. That's what's funny about all of this.
Yeah, he's just trying to run away. It just happened to coincide with the exact timing of the Plutonium boss's arrival.
Yeah. The first thing he said to the Plutonium boss after Rabik was, "Thank you." They run to the controls and push, prod, yank, pull, and bang on all the controls, but it only seems to make it worse. Finally, an explosion rips a hole in the nearby wall and launches the trio 15 feet backward and onto their backs. The sign over the jammed exit door reads, "Overload, overload, overload." But then, instead of an explosion, the Cyclotron just lets out a loud smoky hiss. Then, nothing. It has burnt out, and it looks like they'll be safe after all. They exit through the hole in the wall and make their way back to the Sophia, which needs some repair due to the falling debris of the earlier chaos. Finally, they speed out of the subterranean hellhole.
Wait, so instead of risking their lives and perhaps making this Plutonium boss even more angry with the Earth and all of its inhabitants, they could have just, done nothing?
That is correct. They have to race mudslides as the Earth resettles from the tremors beneath. As they make their way to the top, which is almost straight up, the Sophia's power stalls. It is simply more than the vehicle can handle. To climb nearly vertically out of a pit with mud still sinking beneath them, the vehicle begins to plummet back down the blowhole and lands with a thud on a mound of mud as the rest of the pit around them continues to cave in. They escape the vehicle and begin to climb to the surface, finding small footholds to elevate them upward towards sunlight. Once out and on safe ground, the three of them realize that the void from which they just sprouted from would not appear to anyone else to foster the underground hell they just endured. Once the Earth had settled, you could not tell anything had happened there. Jason took time to lament his inability to save Fred, but at least the three of them had survived. A news bulletin reads,
Federal officials expressed surprise at the magnitude of yesterday's quake. There is a minor fault line approximately under Batrachia, they say, but the chance of feeling a tremor is about 1 in 13 million.
No frogs except one were harmed in this earthquake. Jason bolted awake with memories of the Sophia, Alex, and Eve all in his head. Was it a dream? He hoped. If it had been, then he never lost Fred. He bolts over to Fred's habitat and sees it empty. Not a dream after all. A few minutes later, after his parents had told them they were going shopping and left him alone, he hears the doorbell ring. He originally wanted to ignore it, but it was persistent, so he stomped downstairs to see who was bothering him. After all, he was exhausted and still sad about his missing frog. But when he opened the door, Jason couldn't believe it! It was a frog about his height, and it had an evil look on its face.
Oh, no.
No! Jason shouted. He slammed the door as hard as he could, but then heard someone from the other side yelp with pain. Slowly reopening the door, he sees Alex standing there with a latex frog mask in his hand. He and Eve are in a frog body costume. I was gonna say trick or treat, said Alex.
Those motherfuckers. As much as I'm annoyed by Jason and his insatiable love for his fucking frog, this is dirty. This is fucking dirty.
Yeah, that'd be like if someone's grandma died and then you just like showed up dressed as their grandma on their doorstep and we're like
trick or treat. It's
actually,
fucking July, asshole.
That would be kind of funny, actually, now that I think about it. I wish I had a friend that would do that.
I do miss my grandmother. It would be nice.
Then, almost distantly, Jason hears a faint ribbit. He calls out Alex to stop making frog noises, especially ones that sound so much like Fred. Fred's specific ribbit. Alex encourages Jason to look down, and when he does, he spots a little frog sitting on a welcome mat. He recognizes Fred right away and begins to tear up. Alex chastises him and tells him that the soaps don't come on TV for another hour. Jason also notices on the lawn a lobster crawling around.
Okay.
That must be Plutarch, he asks. In the flesh, replies Alex.
Which is, I'm not sure that's something that lobsters have, but thank you, Alex.
That's true.
Hey, someone say flesh down there, guy?
Well, you're dead, Plutony boss. Go away.
All right, my bad. I thought maybe somebody finally took off that fabric. You know what I'm saying? Hey, guy. All right, I'll see you guys later. You guys have been nice.
Man, this story really wraps up in a nice, like, CW sort of teenage sitcom kind of way. Like, aw, you.
It does. It does.
Jason looks to Eve for answers, or at least a theory on how Fred and Plutarch being alive is possible. She tells him that the underbosses that appeared as their pets were a pure nuclear creation, that the Plutonia boss covered in grotesque images of familiar objects to scare him with. To explain how the pets made their way back here, her only explanation was that the pets escaped on their own and found their way back.
Oh, yeah, right, Eve. Fucking idiot. Now I want a pet movie like Homeward Bound with a talking frog and lobster. How cool would that shit be?
I want to know, too, what if that wasn't Plutarch?
Yeah. What if it's not the same fucking frog?
What if it's just a lobster or just a frog, like, crawling around? Like, a lobster would be weirder. Like, I could see a frog on a lawn, but to see a lobster just walking around on a lawn,
I know. I would weird, immediately want to eat that son of a bitch.
So Eve ended up being adopted by Alex's parents, with the backstory that she was orphaned. There was also no other mention of the strange chest that Fred was seen on as he sunk into the muck for the first time, and the one Jason asked Eve about. It's a mystery. And that concludes the original Blaster Master. But, you know, inside that chest, we find out Curly's gold. It was Curly's gold the whole time. It's just literally a bunch of pubes from My Pillow Company spray painted yellow.
Curly's gold. It makes sense. Yeah. Or gold Curlies. I guess we're Blaster Master. Master Blaster. We'll get it.
So for the rest of the games in this series, we will describe those a little more lightly, but in chronological order. These do not have companion novels to add narrative for us to parse, unfortunately. Up next is Blaster Master Enemy Below on the Game Boy Color. As the manual states, weary from battle, Jason moves far away to start a new life. Then one day, a woman he's never seen before comes to his door and pleads with Jason to rid a secret underground facility of a reproductive life form that's on the loose. This, of course, is the offspring of the organisms of the original Blaster Master. Evidently, scientists were running tests with tissue samples from the Plutonian boss when the samples came to life and started killing them.
Yeah.
The life form spreads fast and hollows out the image of its old lair, hence explaining why the levels here are so similar to the original Blaster Master. Jason knows what he must do. He reactivates Sophia the Third and heads back into battle.
Let's do it.
It's not explained how much time has passed since the first game, but we can surmise that Jason is now old enough to leave his parents behind at home and start a new life. Furthermore, at some point between the two entries, he has gone back to the swamp and somehow retrieved the Sophia from the deep swamp muck.
Oh, okay.
Or, hear me out, Jason's parents want nothing to do with him because he came home one day smelling like a swamp and demanded that they let a strange underage girl live with them.
That is weird. Like, hey, Mom, I found this swamp girlfriend. Can we keep her? But yeah, they're probably already looking for ways to distance themselves from him because his unconditional love to a frog just totally weirded them out.
They argue every night about whose family that trait comes from. Your uncle liked lizards, man. So that's where he gets it from, man. Basically, Jason has to go back through the Plutonium boss's re-hollowed out labyrinth of corridors to extract all of the evil mutations that have moved in below. As Alex and Eve are only characters in the novel, there is no mention of them in this particular entry in the story. The bosses here are a mix of old and new, as a frog and lobster both return to face Jason. He also fights a cannibal flower, a snake, a shellfish, a dinosaur, a jellyfish, and finally faces off against an amoeba to round out the level bosses. One of those bosses is not like the other.
Was it the dinosaur? It's the dinosaur, isn't it?
So does the cannibal flower eat other flowers?
I guess. Either that or... I guess.
That's it, yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing that Jason's a human then. He has nothing to fear of that boss. That's going to be an easy fight. He just takes a weed whacker to it. In Blaster Master 2 on the Sega Genesis, it is said to have been at least 4 years since the happenings in the first Blaster Master, though here there is no mention of the events that took place in the previous game we just talked about, because it didn't release until 7 years after this one. So, to be clear, this one released after Origins, but is third in the story's chronology. In Blaster Master 2, Jason has the Sophia stashed away in a barn when lightning strikes the barn and sends her parts scattered. The parts are then scavenged. Jason realizes this is due to alien entities called lightning beings, and it turns out the Plutonium boss was also a lightning being. These beings want to drive the Earth off of its axis and destroy all life on the planet.
Hey, man, at least the Plutonium boss was here to use Earth for food. These assholes just want to shake shit up like an interplanetary Al-Qaeda, alien Qaeda.
And I don't even think they're good at it, because so they want to destroy the Earth. They decide the best way to do that is to first start with shooting lightning at a single car. Now, I'm going to call it right now. Earthlings, do not worry about these guys. Go about your daily life. We'll install a few lightning rods and some stored away SUVs to take care of things. We're good.
Yeah, I mean, we recall safety restraints when I think it hits like 1,000 deaths. So like one car getting hit by random ass lightning, not a worry.
Yeah, you're good. Jason manages to reassemble the Sophia into the Sophia, S-O-P-H-I-A, now appearing written as an acronym instead of a word, and sets off to destroy these aliens and the mutants they've created once again. The Sophia seemingly stands for nothing in particular, but does have a force field that can protect the vehicle from damage for a short period of time. And though there is no canonical meaning for the acronym, we, of course, must speculate what the Sophia stands for. So I'll go first here.
Okay, good luck.
I think it stands for a super opinionated, party-halting, invasive automobile. And one of its powers is to really put the brakes on fun conversations at parties by discussing politics, bowel movements, and really anything. Death rates for cats is one of its favorite topics, yeah.
Get out of here. That's what I would say to that one. Or maybe it stands for a subterranean, off-roading, pedantic, high-fiving, insult, asshat. Similar to the, what was yours? Super opinionated, party halting, invasive automobile?
Yes, that one, yep. But super opinionated, party halting, invasive automobile.
But the way in which it weaves its way into conversations is to correct the grammar of strangers and then try to play it off the correction as just a joke by high-fiving afterwards. We all know that guy.
Yeah, and you reluctantly high-five him to hopefully make him stop, but it just encourages him.
Yeah.
Oh, man. One more I got for you. Sophia stands for the Submersible Onion-Peddling Highly Incapable Ambulance. And the creators... the creator of this version of the Sophia, he had an onion business, and it was failing, so he got a second job as an EMT driving an ambulance. And he's an entrepreneur, of course, so he decided to kind of, put the two together and sell onions while almost saving lives.
Huh. That seems needless, but I do appreciate it.
This entry in the Blaster Master franchise is a long one, with several bosses and mini-bosses ranging from turrets and cannons to various forms of fish and other mutated sea life. Eventually, Jason makes his way to a giant ogre in the final chamber, whom he defeats to save the world. For now, of course. As we know, there's more to come because Blaster Master Blasting Again exists.
And I think, after the third time a monster inhabits the ground of Earth and attempts to kill it and everything on it, we should take the hint. Maybe just move. If Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, if he moved into your basement and just tried to murder your whole family, maybe after the third time, you'd evict yourself. No more. This is too much.
Or if Richard Ramirez has failed twice, maybe the lesson is he's kind of incompetent and you have nothing to fear. So stick around.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know if I'd rub that in his face. Hey, Richard, I'm 2-0, baby. What you gonna do
I
about
dare
it?
you to try it again. I dare you.
Why don't you try to catch us when we're sleeping or something, idiot?
Many years after this event, Jason and Eve have gone on to marry and have 2 children, Roddy and Elfie. Sadly, at some point...
I would bully those kids.
They come from my family naming heritage, with Lonnie and Laverne and Francis and Ethel, all real people in my family. Sadly, at some point, Eve passes away, and many years later, Alex would show up on the doorstep with a mask of her face and say, "Trick or treat!" Sorry.
Classic.
Sadly, at some point, Eve passes away, and many, many years later, Jason would also succumb to an untimely death to the lightning beings. 5 years later, the Earth becomes plagued by what is called a geological phenomenon. Elfie soups up Sophia the Fourth to become the Sophia J7 to honor her father. It is now up to Roddy and his sister Elfie to protect the planet.
Interesting, J7. So I get that the J honors the father, Jason, but I can only assume the 7 maybe honors something like the number of nipples Eve had since she was from a different planet. Maybe Signar-L is extra nipply?
So you think it's a cold planet?
Yeah. Yeah.
How else would you know it was extra nipply?
Exactly.
Roddy packs a gun and some napalm, and can also release a charge that allows him to hover in his bodysuit for a short period of time. Elfie is Roddy's older sister, and it's speculated she was adopted because her age doesn't line up with the timeline. If she's 18 here, then she would have been born shortly after the first game when Jason and Eve were still young teenagers, and while not implausible, she does use the phrase, "since I was taken in," during one of her dialogues. She is the brains of the duo and balances out Roddy's impetuous nature. She is also the mechanic of the two and is responsible for all of the Sophia's new upgrades. She helps Roddy navigate through the underground caverns.
Yeah. And I just keep thinking, her name is Elfie, which I'm pretty sure is considered child abuse in at least 8 states. So I kind of hope she's adopted. Although I guess they could have changed her name, if that's the case.
And they decided not to, which is extra cruel.
Do you like this name so far, sweetie? No, I hate it. That's too fucking bad. Let's go. Get in the van.
We own you legally now. We can do what we want.
Now, this is your brother, Roddy, who's not adopted. You can tell we have good taste in names. He's like, I wish I was adopted.
It turns out that she was also the spotter for Jason the day he died, something she tells Roddy about during their quest. She believes his death was her fault, as she failed to spot an incoming enemy that eventually took her father's life.
Oh, that's awful. That conversation had to be rough. Hey, Roddy, I gotta tell you something. It's about Dad.
Oh, sure, big sis, go on.
You know how, I am your spotter and help protect you from death, always?
Oh, yeah, I love you. Yeah, honestly, man, I could not do this without you, sis. I appreciate it. But how does this involve Dad?
Well, I was his spotter the day he was eviscerated limb by limb, screaming wildly due to the agonizing and immense pain the enemies caused as they tortured and savored his every plea for life. He called out for me and Mom. You might have come up. Either way, it was all my fault.
Oh, wow. God.
Yeah.
But you learned from that, though, right? I mean, you're better at it now?
Not really, no.
Oh, damn it.
She's honest, I guess. It's good.
No, I'm not. I never was good to begin. I don't know how to get fit. He died. I watched it. I spotted that. I spotted him
I went
die.
through several practice dads. They weren't my dads, but I found there was lots of dudes walking around.
Why do you think I'm adopted?
That's true.
I've killed so many dads.
I'm not good at this. Later, Elfie and Roddy's headquarters are infiltrated while Roddy is in the Sophia underground and Elfie is there alone, guiding him with her monitor. Elfie is kidnapped by an evil lightning being known as Kaiser, who has come from Eve's old planet. He actually survived the plutonium boss's earlier attack there and used his evil cunning to lord over the lightning beings. I guess it turns out that the plutonium boss was known to attack his own kind since the lightning beings inhabited the subsurface of Signar L when the plutonium boss destroyed it. It's unclear what Kaiser's motive is aside from destruction, but as he has Elfie, Eve's spirit returns over the radio to guide Roddy to rescue his sister and to save the planet. Afterward, Eve's spirit returns to be with Jason.
Roddy, it's me, Eve, your mother.
Mom, oh my God!
Shh. I'm dead.
Sorry.
I'm dead. You know that.
Oh.
Don't get excited. I'm just a spirit.
Oh, sorry, Mom, got it.
Your sister, I just want to tell you, your sister is dog shit at this. You're lucky I was here to guide you just now. She straight up killed your father because she's so bad at spotting enemies.
Yeah, I just heard about that. What's that all about?
It was awful, Roddy. I was a spirit then too. You know, of course, I was already dead. I died painfully. And your father, he was ripped apart. It was gory, limb by limb. They plucked each one. They licked the ends on each one as they plucked it off like it was a piece of fried chicken with barbecue sauce on it. He cried until the blood curdled, Rodifer. He screamed such an awful, awful screamed. He pooted a little bit on that last one, too. You could tell he still had a little bit of life. He cried out for me and your sister, Elfie. He cried out for her, too. It was very obvious we cried out for myself and for her. You might have also been mentioned. I can't recall.
Okay, thanks, Mom. It's good hearing from you again.
Good luck. I'm going to go. See you later. Bye.
You ruined fried chicken for me. That's fine. The newer titles to the series, Blaster Master Zero and Blaster Master Zero 2, are series reboots. They tell the story FX9 laid out for us in the novel a little bit differently, and that one, the Blaster Master fandom wiki page, breaks it down like this. And Travis, to be frank, I'm sick of reading, so why don't you take this one for me?
Endless human conflict plunges the Earth into a new ice age. In order to survive, the human race flees below the planet's surface and builds an underground ecosystem. During this time, a strange meteor falls to Earth, but it goes unnoticed due to humanity focusing its efforts on restoring the planet. After several hundred years, humans have restored the surface of the Earth and abandoned their underground world for the ages. Scientist Jason Frudnick discovers a frog-like creature, possibly a frog, which he captures and names Fred. Fred escapes and leaps into a strange hole, and Jason gives chase. Inside, Jason discovers the technological wonder, the Sophia III. Surprised to find the ancient underworld intact, Jason uses the tank's receiver to explore it and track down Fred. While in the old residential area, Jason comes across Eve, a mysterious girl with missing memory that possesses knowledge of the Sophia III. As the hunt for Fred continues, Eve eventually recovers her memory and reveals that she, Fred, and the Sophia III are from a far-off world sent to Earth with the goal of eliminating mutants. Eve wants Jason to not be involved any further, but Jason continues to offer his help in defeating the mutant lord. Eventually, Jason defeats the mutant lord, but during the fight, the Sophia III is infected by the mutant core. Not wanting to put Jason in any more danger, Eve renders him unconscious and leaves with the Sophia III, intending to trigger its self-destruct mechanism and destroy the mutant core along with itself and her. However, the mutant core's infection progresses too rapidly and Eve is trapped. Fred, who was left behind, leads Jason to an upgraded the Sophia Zero. With its power, Jason manages to track down the corrupted the Sophia III, now known as Envim the Sophia. If you're confused, I am too. Jason manages to free Eve from Envim the Sophia and destroys it and the mutant core once and for all.
Wow, that was terrible, Travis. Thanks.
Thanks.
The sequel, Blaster Master 02, is a continuation of this story and is described on the Nintendo Switch eShop page as so. The story of Blaster Master 02 begins a few months after the events of the first game, where the main protagonist, Jason, saves planet Earth from the mutants. Eve has been infected by mutant cells that are slowly corrupting her body, so together with Jason and Fred, they board G, the Sophia, and begin an intergalactic journey to Eve's home planet in hopes of finding a cure for the mutant infection. And that wraps up our episode.
All right. Thank fucking God. No, I'm kidding. I thought it was fun. I am very confused by the Sophia lineage. The Sophia has its own lore that's sort of like the Legend of Zelda. Like, where does it start? Where does it end? Are there forks in the path? What's going on with it? It has several names.
Yeah, they should have went the Batman route and just had Batmobile, Batcar, Batbike.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm actually with you, yeah.
Yeah.
Give it one name, stop killing it and reviving it. Every time you upgrade it, you don't name it something different. I put gas in my car, I don't call it Car Gas 2.
I don't know, that's kind of how Xbox works. So, I mean, maybe it does make sense.
I guess you're right, yeah. Huh. Either way, it was a fun episode, and actually it's a fun group of games. I've enjoyed the Blaster Masters I've played. I honestly haven't played some of those in-betweeners there, but the original, a special place in my heart. And the new one's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What did you think? Narratively, were you on the edge of your seat? Were you like, what's going to happen with this fucking frog?
Yeah, narratively speaking, it's kind of a dumb game. I've never understood it. But then it's a NES game. That's what it starts off as a NES game. Although I really like FX9's novelization. Writing video game novelizations could be something that I wouldn't mind doing in my free time if I could get paid to do it, because it actually sounds like FX9 was having a good time writing it. And so if you're listening to this and you find a used copy of Blaster Master, buy it. A used copy of the book Blaster Master.
And I can't imagine that they're that hard to find. I seem to find them pretty cheap online, but if they're like anything else NES related, if they get picked up by collectors, I could see them getting pretty pricey. So yeah, be on the lookout. But there's a whole set of them, Worlds of Power. I got to be honest, I wasn't even that familiar. I think someone in our Discord on Polykill kind of pointed it out to both of us that this book existed, and or that this line of books existed. I completely whiffed on this as a kid. I didn't know about them. I would have totally read these had I known about them. I don't know how I missed them. I wasn't in the books. I didn't know how to read. I still don't. And and so yeah, I think these are great. There's a whole series of them, and I've ordered a couple more. And I want to kind of skim through them to see if there's any more episode fodder, because I think, like you said, writing for a game is fun. That's what we do of coming up with these podcasts. We don't put it in a book form, obviously, but we're putting together 20 or so pages of basically what FX9 does. We water it down a bit and ruin it with interjections, but I do like that. I think that is fun. I would love to take any game from the NES that's kind of a loose story, just expand on it, use my imagination, pull from the game and pull from put some more characters in there. He took freedom to put Eve and Alex in there, which made it a really fun story, and I would just love to do that. I'm with you. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, that concludes Lessersode numero dos. We number these in Spanish so that it's not confusing from the regular mainline episodes. So that was Lessersode numero dos. And thank you so much for listening. Please be sure to subscribe. That way you can get the next season that's going to be dropping pretty soon. We got 4 full episodes on a series that we know you'll love. And this is going to be releasing around Christmas, Caleb. So I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, a Feliz Navidad there for you. And thanks for checking this one out. We appreciate it.
And if you would be so kind, please rate and review us on your podcatcher of choice. iTunes would be great if you could swing that one for us. Give us 5 stars if you'd like, 4 stars if you're a jerk. Reach out to us also individually. You can do that on Twitter. You can reach out to the show specifically at Tales Lesser. You can reach out to myself at Caleb J. Ross, all one word, the letter J, or Travis at Trav Plays Games, all one word.
Right on, yes. And I just also want to clarify, if you give us 3, 2, 1, or no stars, you are also a jerk. So 4 or below. Yeah, I don't want the pedantic types to come out here high-fiving us. You can also send an angry email about anything we got wrong. You heard Caleb up there say Laura and Master Blaster a couple times. So feel free to go ahead and hit us up over the head over that with an email to polykillpodcast@gmail.com. That way we'll be sure to delete that and not read it. Please check out the website over at polykill.com. Plenty more shows over there. We have Drunk Friend out there, Petey's Power Hour, which is fun, Off Kilter, which is like a game show podcast, and Polykill, and the new one added to the roster, which is the Indie Quest podcast about indie games. So please go check those out. And our intro and outro theme, which you can hear a little bit right now. You can hear that? That's Brad Sucks, and he's coming out with a 4th album. I just backed on Indiegogo. I'm very excited for Brad, so check out Brad's new stuff. And again, thanks, Brad, for the music.
And thank you all for listening.
And the tale has been told.